Alan is telling us that he has heard that Nebraska will offer former Oklahoma quarterback Caleb Williams.
Well, there's a lot of strange things going on right now on that front. Obviously, we know that Nebraska is, definitely in the market for a transfer portal quarterback. And like we were talking about last week, is basically everybody's understanding that they're going after two of them. So right now, what we know is that Chubba Purdy, the Florida State transfer, has an official visit lined up for January 14th. Classes start here in Lincoln on January 18th. And, Nebraska is looking to get those probably two quarterbacks to be filled here. And, right now, besides Chubba Purdy, we talked also a lot about Casey Thompson as well. And everything that we're hearing right now, too, is that Casey Thompson now is also kind of upticked things and is making a visit, an unofficial visit on his own dime here as soon as it could have happened today. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. So you already know that there's two guys coming in that are highly interested in the program and have ties to what's going on here right now. And then, with all the craziness that just happened with Oklahoma and UCLA, now there's another quarterback out there available. So, obviously, I think Nebraska is a no-brainer. That Nebraska, if they haven't already extended an offer, that will be coming. And I wouldn't, I'm not going to try to douse any fires or anything or start any kind of rumors, but that also is a highly possible thing that I'm hearing right now too. So that's what we're dealing with right now, Mark. I mean, it is so crazy right now with this transfer portal has just blown college football up, and you don't know if you're going after a guy and you think you got your guy, and then all of a sudden it opens up the next day and there's somebody else there that, oh my goodness, maybe that's our guy. And it's just nuts right now. And I really expect that Nebraska is, they've taken as much time as I think they can. And, as the week draws on here, I wouldn't be surprised to hear maybe that one guy is locked in, and then we'll wait for a week or two and see. But what I'm thinking is that a Chubba Purdy is a guy that they're looking at for the future. He's got 4 years of eligibility left, so he's a guy that I think they're looking at for the future to come in and compete with Logan Smothers and Heinrich Harburg. And then you're going after a Casey Thompson type guy to come in right now and lead this team. If you want to add another name onto that list, I'm all for that, and it sounds pretty good to me.
Well, like you, I was thinking the same thing in regards to the probability that Nebraska or anyone would get two high-level quarterbacks. Just doesn't make a whole lot of sense that a Casey Thompson would sign with Nebraska if Nebraska is also getting Caleb Williams. You think that they're going to get two quarterbacks because they need that for the quarterback room. But one, it's going to be a developmental guy. And the other is going to be the guy like a Casey Thompson who led the Big 12 in touchdown passes that can step right in and is most likely going to win the job.
But, obviously we know what Nebraska is coveting and what they want. And this whole crazy thing about this transfer portal is it's caused so much competition in the transfer portal to now that, you got a guy like Casey Thompson that all of a sudden, ooh, man, you know what? I better make my mind up quicker than I thought I was going to, because there's another guy now that's coveted. And you know what? He might take my spot if I don't pull the trigger right now. So This is crazy stuff to be watching right now. It's really exciting. I mean, it's so much. I mean, like we've said so many times, it's NFL free agency in the college level now, and to me, I think it's pretty cool. But to a head coach, he's got to be losing his hair left and right. I mean, it's just got to be killing the coaching staffs around the country.
The head coaches, can't like it because the roster structure, the roster maintenance is just crazy. It's tough enough just with the regular transfers that you had in the past, plus obviously recruiting and just keeping, as you know better than I do, them having a coach that just keeps the numbers, basically just figuring out the numbers. And now that job has become 50 times more complicated with all this stuff that could possibly be happening. And anybody at any point just letting you know, hey, I'm going to enter the transfer portal, which makes it 50,000 times crazier than the NFL free agency because there's only a small portion of the league in any given offseason that can be free agents in the NFL, but anybody can be a free agent in college football.
You can decide tomorrow that you know what, I'm throwing my name out there.
Yeah.
There might not be a spot for me, but I just, I want to change the scenery. That's what the head coach has always been used to, recruiting a kid that is going to be there for you for 4 years, maybe 5 years. And this whole transfer portal thing has just blown that out of the water. And I don't know. It's hard to say that it's going to stay like this. I mean, sooner or later, it's got to calm down in my mind. I think the newness of it will wear off a little bit, and kids will start realizing that the grass might not be greener somewhere else. I'm in a pretty good spot where I'm at right now. Maybe I should just stick it out and compete where I'm at right now. And I think that's the way it might will wind down here after a year or two, hopefully. But I don't know.
Yeah, so similar to players not opting out. I don't want to use that phrase because obviously we're talking about bowl games, but talking about players declaring themselves early for the NFL draft, similar to that, where that was obviously increasing every year. But then a lot of feedback was coming back, and we were seeing some negative stories just in regards to players who thought too highly of themselves. Were receiving inaccurate feedback, and then they weren't getting drafted, or they were being drafted much lower than they anticipated. Of course, the NFL then provided the service of providing a draft prospectus of sorts, a draft report that would show the player where they're being evaluated so that they could make an accurate and informed decision. So similar to, and that, so now it's leveled off to where generally the players that are declaring early for the NFL draft have reason to do so. And so maybe the same thing will happen here. Number one, as long as the NCAA holds fast to this rule that there's only a one-time exemption for transfer, and then the next time you have to sit out a year, as long as that that's obviously going to curb it, I would think, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And then exactly what you're saying, that players the word will get out there that this guy transferred and it didn't work out. That guy transferred, it didn't work out. And also there's just too many names in the pipeline that, from what I understand, I haven't seen exact numbers, but half the players in the transfer portal are just sitting there.
Yeah. So what do you do in the meantime? You're not getting your education anymore. You don't have any chance for NIL, and your football career is on hold. So yeah, it's a hard decision to make, and you hit the nail right on the head there when once this not having to sit out a year penalty goes back into place, it's going to change a lot of things in the transfer portal as well. So, it's just right now, it's just such a crazy time, and it'll calm down definitely. And I think guys will start figuring it out that this thing's not for me. I made a commitment to a coach and a coaching staff, and if that coach and that coaching staff is still in place, is where I'm talking about too. I mean, all bets are off if that coaching staff leaves and stuff. Then you can't blame a kid for leaving. But um, you know, there's so many different circumstances involved anyway. I mean, you can even go, if you watch the Citrus Bowl the other day and watched Wan'Dale Robinson just go crazy for Kentucky. I think every Husker fan watching that game was rooting for Wan'Dale Robinson, especially because they were playing Iowa. And you watch him go, 10 catches for 170 yards and sets up the game-winning touchdown for the Wildcats. And, amazing stuff. And that's a kid that, he was here for a couple of years and he represented the university to its fullest and just a great kid all around. And there's no way that you could ever root against him. And if you do, if you're a Husker fan and you did root against him, then shame on you. But sometimes it does work out when you leave. He went back home, and there was reasons for that as well. And you know what? Sometimes it works out for the best. So what can you say? That's one of the good stories that comes out of transferring and the transfer portal like that. Opposed to how many bad ones, So that's where we're at these days.